Good evening. Writing a 4-minute speech to celebrate Tom Cruise's 45-year career is what is known in this town as Mission Impossible. So Tom is mean. I'm an honor and delight, but you owe me one, my friend. So the only possible thing I can do is to share a story. 25 years ago, I was still a first-time director, and I began hearing that Tom Cruise, yes, Tom Cruise, had seen my first film, Amores Perros, and was screening it at his home every week, inviting friends to watch it. And I was astonished, and I assumed the stories were exaggerated. Then the film received an Oscar nomination, and I still had not met him. In fact, I didn't meet him until 12 years later when I crossed paths with him on a stage at Paramount. And when I introduced myself to thank him for his selfless generosity, he shook my hand firmly, looked straight into my eyes with those laser-sharp retinas, and with relentless precision, speed, and intensity, he described scene by scene every performance, line, edit, and camera angle he loved of the film. He knew more about my film than I ever did. Many of you in this room may have probably had a similar moment with Tom. It's very impressive. And 25 years later, having shooting a film with him for several months in London, it's even more remarkable because I know it's real. Tom is fully present. He sees you. He hears you. He connects every single moment. Because he knows films aren't built on ego. They are built on eye contact. His enthusiasm is contagious. And for a pessimistic person like me, I didn't know, actually, what to do with so much sunshine and so much confidence. I was like uncomfortable. But I was spoiled and I got used to it, and I doubt I will ever find someone like him, to tell you the truth. People often describe Tom Cruise in the language of force or grandiosity. Big stunts, big box office, big legend, big long career, all true. But tonight, based on my experience, I want to measure him in millimeters. Because what's truly defined Tom Cruise is not how far he runs or how high he jumps. It's how precisely he decides to move. Those tiny calibrations, the tilt of a chin, the half breath before a sprint, the millimeter between silence and revelation, every breath, every eyebrow, every grin, half cocky, half terrified, the shoulder, his hand, the hip, the pause, the diction, the intention on every word, every flicker of thought in his eyes, every rhythm of movement. That's where his real and invisible craftsmanship lives. On his face resides the language of emotions. His smile is its sword. His artistry is built on micro decisions, and all of it is carefully engineered as his most dangerous stunt. I personally witnessed the process. We spent months rehearsing every detail for a complicated sequence. His character has plenty of fast dialogue and demanded emotional shifts, physical transitions, and changing gears from satire to madness with intricate blocking with a crowd of extras. It requires surgical precision. And just in the fourth take, what I witnessed, what we all witnessed that day, was unreal. You remember. He was meticulously choreographed, yet feel completely improvised. Structure like a clockwork, but flowing like jazz. And I got goosebumps. That night, while trying to understand how he was able to do that, I realized that the big difference between him and anybody else is that he's used to performing under extreme pressure where every move, every millimeter can mean life or death. And honestly, that kind of intensity doesn't stop when the camera do. One day we were eating Mexican food and I saw him pull off the most dangerous stunt of all. This man ate more chile than any Mexican alive. He ate raw green serranos like they were popcorns. The dangerous chiles habaneros as cherries, one after another. I, a proud Mexican, I was crying with one just bite of it. And this guy was looking at me and saying, it's refreshing, it's refreshing. It's crazy. Even Guillermo del Toro doesn't need so much, anyway. And that's something to say. So I call him Tomas Cruz. He's a Mexican, I know that. He just doesn't say it because ICE is out there, so be careful. One story that he told me has an image that still fascinates me. After finishing Taps in 1981, his first film directed by Harold Becker, Sean Penn invited him to stay at his mother's house in Los Angeles. That one night, the two of them, both 20, 21 years old, drove from Malibu to Hollywood and parked outside Jack Nicholson's home. These two kids brought down the windows and started to smoke a cigarette while dreaming and imagining what it will feel like to be him. Can you imagine? Sean said. And Tom replied, I can. 10 years later, Tom was inside the same Jack Nicholson house, reading lines for A Few Good Men with him, and got the part. Even he knew his lines of Jack, and Jack was saying, okay, kid, I got what you are saying to me, when he was forgetting a line. Every frame of his life says, perfection is in luck. It's karma. Karma in Sanskrit is popularly understood as meaning fate, something preordained for each one of us and out of our control. Karma, however, it's the opposite, literally means action. Karma is not destiny, it's what we do. Our actions shape our experience. Tom became master of his fate by becoming the master of his own actions. For me, some of those emotional stunts he does are far scarier because exposing yourself without a net is the most dangerous thing of all. In Born of the 4th of July, directed by Oliver Stone, Tom surrendered every trace of vanity, playing Paralyzed and showing us that courage doesn't always look like flight. Sometimes it looks like stillness. In Eyes Wide Shut with Stanley Kubrick, he dove fearlessly into ambiguity and restraint, performing in the grammar of silence. In Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, he became a symphony of contradictions, control and collapse, cruelty and confession. When his character breaks down by his father's deathbed, there's no stunt, just mercy, showing us that the most courageous thing a man can do on camera is cry without permission. In Cameron's Crow, Jerry Maguire, he mastered the subtext. When he shouts, show me the money, his soul is screaming, show me the meaning, show me the connection. And I won't talk about the last crazy, hilarious Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder because Ben Stiller told me there are too many studio executives in the room tonight, so I will not go there. With Christopher McQuarrie, during the last decade, he turns risk into ritual. Every jump, every climb, every cockpit dive says to the audience, I have done the impossible, so you can believe in the possible again. He risked his life in every take, so the rest of us can risk caring again. He's never lost his sense of purpose because Tom Cruise doesn't just make movies, he is movies. Throughout his career, Tom has worked with the greatest. Throughout his career, Tom has worked with the greatest directors alive: Francis Ford Coppola, Mr. Steven Spielberg, Michael Mann, Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma, Ridley Scott, and many, many others. He's bridged generations. Audiences who first met him in the 80s brought their children and now their grandchildren to watch him fly again. He's remained a constant in our collective imagination, not by following fashions, but by setting standards. In a world of shortcuts, he takes the long way. In the era of quick cuts, he chooses endurance. He has resisted being swallowed by brands, social media, streaming, pixels, and endless soulless exposure, and by doing that, he kept the mystery and mystique needed to be the biggest film star in the world. Everyone who has worked with him Everyone here who has worked with him tells a version of the same story. He thanks you every morning. He expects excellence and gives you courage to match it, and he knows your name. Tom Cruise has done what only the rarest artists ever do. He's built not just a career, but a continuum. He's made excellence his habit, gratitude his practice, and ambition his fuel. He reminds us that cinema is still a craft worth mastering, that movement can be poetry, and that belief in self, in a story, in others, is still the most powerful special effect of all. This may be the first Oscar and his first Oscar, but for what I have seen and experienced, it will not be the last. If you stand, if you stand next to him, you know that you start to wonder if the rest of us belong to a completely different, rapidly decaying species. At his rate, he easily has another 60 years of careers and award ahead of him. We will not be here, but you will be here. So tonight, we celebrate not just a filmography, we celebrate a lifetime of purpose. Tom, thank you for proving that the impossible, when pursued with heart and precision, can indeed become inevitable. And here's to the man who never stopped running toward the next story and made us all believe that we could keep up.
I'd like to share a story with you about the daughter of a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and a dentist whose talent took her from a Houston dance class to the Broadway stage, from iconic television to the big screen, and now to our Hollywood stage tonight. Esteemed guests, this is the story of the one and only Miss Debbie Allen. To know Miss Debbie is to know that she refuses to let dreams fade and has the determination to make them happen. For Debbie Allen, her dream began when she was 4 years old, watching Shirley Temple movies. She wanted to be the girl on the screen, dancing up the stairs with Bill Robinson. But what we know of dreams is that the ones that count are often the hardest ones to obtain. They take work, and there are mountains to climb to get to them. At 16, Debbie auditioned for the North Carolina School of the Arts, but was rejected. Debbie was told that her body was not suited for ballet, a euphemism for too black for dance. But to paraphrase the great poet Langston Hughes, a dream deferred is not a dream denied. Debbie Allen has never and will never be denied. From those early setbacks, she has gone on to a 5-decade career as an actress, producer, director, and of course, as a choreographer. Her impact on the world of film is extraordinary. We learned from her portrayal as Lydia Grant in Fame that fame costs, and here is where you start paying in sweat. In Ragtime, she broke our hearts as Sarah and starred in Jojo Dancer and Your Life is Calling. Miss Debbie was a producer on the groundbreaking Amistad and a star for Rose, and was a choreographer on Forget Paris, A Jazzman's Blues, and a 688. Miss Debbie has choreographed the Oscars ceremony a record 7 times. Miss Debbie is a trailblazing legend in film. She is a champion of creativity in young dreamers and creators, so much so that she created the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, where she offers an amazing curriculum for dance, which cultivates and grows the craft of promising students, regardless of their financial status. She also loves deeply and is a fierce protector of artists and those she holds dear. I myself feel fortunate enough to consider her my auntie. A guiding light of knowledge and inspiration that has helped me navigate life as an actress. Debbie's fierce commitment to her fellow artists and her craft is the star of the show, but sometimes her impact occurs behind the scenes. When Dionne Warwick was being honored by the Kennedy Center, Debbie was the lead storyteller for the tribute, and I was performing Dionne's iconic song, Alfie. I was asked to walk out behind Miss Debbie as she introduced me. Now, Miss Debbie is and was aware of my flair for fashion and knew I'd be in a gown that took up room. Miss Debbie knows how to paint a picture and immediately stepped in to redirect. My auntie stepped in. You know Cynthia is going to be wearing some long, beautiful dress, so you're not going to make that poor girl walk out behind me. She should walk out on the opposite side of the stage and get ready to belt this song. I dare anyone not to listen. They listened. She was right. Her care for me and making that moment special is only a small example of how deeply she cares for the person and the art. It all has to work. Debbie, you have not only shown us the great heights dedication to our art can take us, you have fought to bring all of us along with you on the journey. There's no way to properly calculate the impact you have had on film and our creative community, which is why you are so deserving of this prestigious honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the Academy and the Board of Governors for this glorious golden moment in the sun with Oscar. Yes, child. Oh. I've had a relationship since, yes, I was 4 years old, wanting to, yes, replace Shirley Temple, wishing I could have Harry Belafonte blow my toenail polish dry like he did with Dorothy Dandridge. Movies was a way in for me, for my sister. We used to watch all the movies, and our imaginations could go and wander, and we could see ourselves. See ourselves. This is such a profound moment. I'm a student of the classics at Howard University, where I translated Homer and Aeschylus and Sophocles. And I'm acquainted with fate and destiny and Deus Ex Machina and tragic flaw and prophecy. I proclaimed Misty Copeland to be a prophecy come true when she retired from American Ballet Theater, and I'm compelled to call that up again tonight because prophecy come true, you are, Wynn Thomas. Your genius work. Prophecy come true, Dolly Parton, the soundtrack of our lives, yes. Prophecy come true, the incomparable Tom Cruise, oh my God, whose inspiration goes beyond explanation. Honey, we loved you when you slid out there in those tighty whities. We said, yes, he's one of us, yes. And look at what you have done, oh my God. And so maybe I'm one of them too, maybe. Thank you. But I have to say that all of my accomplishments and everything that I have done and continue to do, I have not done alone. I've had masters and mentors that have trained me, encouraged me, criticized me, given me opportunity, uplifted me, and helped me become the Debbie Allen that you're celebrating tonight. And I want to say thank you to those masters. I'm talking about Madame Tatiana Semenova, Alvin Ailey, Jerome Robbins, Bob Fosse, Alan Parker, Richard Pryor, Milos Forman, Steven Spielberg, Tyler Perry, Bill Cosby, Sam Haskell, Rick Carter, Bradley Glenn, Karen McDonald, so many to name. But my greatest mentors have always been my family. My mother, Vivian Ayers Allen, and my father, Dr. Andrew Arthur Allen, who raised their children believing that we were citizens of the universe and that there were no boundaries and that we could see if anything we could see, we could see in our mind's eye. Movies helped us see a lot of that. Movies. And we were faced with brick walls and glass ceilings and white-only signs everywhere. But we grew up believing in ourselves. We grew up understanding what fight and faith is. And my sister and my brothers, they're all here with me tonight. My brother, Tex Allen, accomplished jazz musician. My beautiful sister, Felicia Rashad, Tony Award-winning actress, Pulitzer Prize-winning director, whose footsteps I have followed until I found my own. My baby brother, Big Huey Allen, president of a bank, thank God. And my husband, NBA All-Star Norman Nixon, who's been the love of my life, who has protected me, applauded me, dried my tears, and given me my true heartbeat, my children. Vivian Nicole, beautiful dancer, my son, Norm Nixon Jr., we call you Thump, and his son, Devon Nixon, all of them giving us grandchildren, all girls, 4 girls and another girl on the way. I kind of think God might be a woman. I don't know. I'm starting to think differently. But this is part of my legacy, is all of you have made it possible for me. And tonight is a victory for creativity and courage and resilience and passion and work, doing the work. Tom and I talked about that. We've done the work, you and Wynn, and we've done the work. We've done the work. And you have no idea how this award will resonate with the millions of people that are in my orbit, the people right now who need a path of possibility with some light to find their way. This is going to tell them that they do the work, they can climb that mountain, they can cross that river, they can win like the Dodgers, they got faith, they can stay in the game. We're going to stay in the game, so I thank you for Oscar, and it's like I got married. Sorry, Norman. I'm definitely taking him to work with me and keeping him close to remind me not of what I've done, but what I yet need and have to do. God bless you.
Well, hi, everybody. I want to thank my good buddy, Lily Tomlin, for presenting me with this award. Hi, Lily. I love you. I also want to thank the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for this great honor. I grew up in a house with 12 kids. Now, that alone teaches you how important sharing is. Don't get me wrong, we didn't have that much to share. But my mom and daddy showed me, by example, that the more you give, the more blessings come your way. And I've tried my whole life to live by their example. And I've been blessed more than I ever dreamed possible. Well, like this award tonight, the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And it's an honor just to be considered, but to receive this, that's a blessing of a lifetime. And I don't take this kind of thing lightly. It makes me want to dream up new ways to help lift people up. And isn't that what we're supposed to be here for? So, from my heart to yours, I truly thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. Well, I met Dolly Parton in the 70s when she was playing her first date in New York City. Her manager, Sandy Gallen, had booked her there to introduce her to a new audience. And as you can imagine, she was sensational. Then a few years later, I was doing a show at the Amundsen Theater, and Jane Fonda came. And I was a nervous wreck because I was a big fan of Jane's. I actually rocked a clued hairdo for about 2 years. And Jane already had a draft of 9 to 5, the movie, but it was done as a drama. So after my show, Jane came backstage and she said she wanted to change 9 to 5 from a drama to a comedy. And she wanted me to be in it. I said, well, hot diggity. I'm in. And then later, Jane was driving home and she heard Dolly singing on the radio 2 doors down. And she thought, Dolly Parton, she would be great in the movie. And so we ended up with Jane, me, Dolly in 9 to 5. And in 9 to 5, which may be the only film in the history of the business, that the 3 leads had impromptu pajama parties. We had several at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And really, let's be honest, I mean, I can't imagine during The Godfather, can you picture Brando inviting Pacino and Duvall for a sleepover? I wonder what they would be wearing. I remember Dolly had baby doll pajamas, and I don't remember what the others were wearing. Oh, that sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Me sort of ogling Dolly. It was not intended. You know, 9 to 5 was Dolly's first movie, and she was fabulous. And during one of our rehearsals, I forgot a line, and she recited it for me. I asked her how she knew my line, and she said in her rapturous drawl, which I won't try to imitate, my voice is a little on the deeper side. I said to her, she said, well, no, don't start trying to do it. Well, she said, I never made a movie, and I thought I better memorize the whole darn script. And she did, even Dabney's part. And I said, you memorized Dabney's part? He played the boss, you know, Franklin Hart. I thought maybe 90% of you would have seen 9 to 5 because, well, it's been, no, I wasn't, that wasn't intended either. That was not intended under any circumstances. You know, I have double vision, and I'm trying to look at the prompter just to keep myself on an even keel, but I'm seeing, like, I see 2, and I can't see any of them very well. They're sort of like dancing together, the letters next to each other. Oh, this is, I could tell you a terrible story that. No, I'm not. 9 to 5 was nominated for Oscar for Best Song. See, if I shut one eye, I can see it. But it is so much bigger than any singular theme song on a movie soundtrack. In fact, that song became an anthem for our culture of the time, and just another example of how Dolly's lifelong compassion can be found in her philanthropy. No. Can be found in her, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, it can be found in Dolly's philanthropy and in her art. She's received 2 Oscars, 11 nominations, Grammy nominations, an Emmy Award. She's released dozens of studio albums and sold more than 100 million copies of those records. Worldwide. But tonight is not about her achievements on screen, on stage, or in the recording studio. Tonight it is about honoring her. I didn't know it was going to do this. I should have known that when there's an image that's stagnant, sort of stagnant, it starts doubling up on itself. So, let me just get down to business. What are those words ahead of that, Sean? Tonight is about honoring her for all that she has done off screen. It's her lifelong commitment to give back. Oh, see, there's a letter missing at the top of the first word because it danced off screen. Her humanitarian achievements are as staggering as her formidable singing career. Dolly's story is one of a woman who was born in East Tennessee. Who never strayed from her roots. And Dolly has often said, to thine own, I know this part by heart, to thine own self be true. Just that line is what I knew by heart. She has managed to live that principle while reaching for unprecedented heights of fame. In fact, I feel sort of self-conscious when we're standing next to each other and we go out and say or do something, because I personally have devoted more time to my career than to my activism. And it's belittling, really. I'm trying to make it, no, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I don't even know what I'm saying. That very authenticity, this is so great. We had something in the script earlier, and I said, I can't say that about Dolly. She's too precious, she's too perfect, she's so alive and so and she's just so simply, totally good. And we said, that's for sure. But there was a line in it, and we said, you know, for a woman who has fake fingernails, fake hair, I suppose. I don't even know that's for true, but that's what so many people assume. I said, for all that, see, fakery, I can't use fakery with the word Dolly. It doesn't suit her at all. But they thought this might be a good joke, and so I tried to work it and see if I went to the laundromat, I went to the butcher shop. I tried the line out, and you could see the look of perplexity and concern that came over the person's face because I was betraying Dolly, the image, the soul, the heart of Dolly. It is so good and so true. And so you'd say, you know, she has fake nails, fake hair, blah, 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 something. But she is the most authentic person I have ever known. And that's, and I know I've stretched the show till some of you are going to have your cars repossessed or something. I didn't mean it that way either. That is why Dolly is so deserving of this honor. Her authenticity, her purity. And have you seen her making pancakes and stuff like that, that she's selling, and she's going to give the money to, maybe Jane Fonda, I don't know. She's so, and but she's too savvy. She's pretty hip. And I'm going to end this by just saying her authenticity, her generosity, her concern for other people for that reason, she really does deserve this honor, symbolized by the Oscar statuette. Were they trying to get me off? I'm sorry. I want to be off. I want desperately to be off, believe me. She is one of the few people who remains in this world that everyone loves and respects. Not just in 9 to 5, but 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Congratulations, Dolly.
It is my honor to welcome you to the 16th Annual Governor's Awards. Let me begin by extending a special thank you to our ASL interpreters for ensuring that this evening's celebration is accessible. I'd also like to extend a huge thanks to Academy CEO Bill Kramer, whose leadership is deeply appreciated by all of us, and to everyone on the Academy staff who work year-round to support our film community. A special shout out to Jennifer Fox, Academy Governor and Vice President. She is producing tonight's ceremony for the 7th year in a row. Also, a special thank you to Michael Bearden, our musical director. And thank you to Rolex, whose remarkable generosity makes tonight and so much more possible. From their support of our international outreach, the Student Academy Awards, the Academy Museum Gala, the Oscars, and tonight's Governor's Awards, we are truly fortunate to share such an enduring partnership and a shared commitment to the art of cinema. Tonight, we honor 4 legends of cinema. Trailblazers, masters of brilliant storytelling, and above all else, absolute originals. In an age when audiences are drowning in content, when the sheer volume of choices can feel overwhelming, is it any surprise that this year our Board of Governors chose to recognize 4 artists whose work and whose individual journeys and impact have been unlike anyone else? We all crave originality, and these 4 storytellers have been giving us an abundance of authenticity for decades. Early on, Debbie Allen realized she did not fit the mold. Opportunities were not given easily to someone like her, so she carved her own path, a groundbreaking path that has transcended genres and brought to the screen new faces, voices, and powerful moments. Debbie Allen has never been afraid to march or dance to the beat of her own drum, to first try and then succeed across multiple disciplines, and to encourage and inspire the next generation to do the same. Wynn Thomas shattered an invisible barrier. He shattered an invisible barrier when he began his career as a production designer. His brilliant world-building work gives us not just a sense of place, but the characters a sense of purpose. From the streets and bodegas of Brooklyn and Do the Right Thing, to Princeton's Gothic arches, and John Nash's Inner Sanctuary and A Beautiful Mind, Wynn is revered for his mastery of his craft. He has also given so much to this Academy and raised awareness of the opportunities that exist for the next generation of storytellers. And in a country of 340 million that can find plenty to disagree on, perhaps one of the things we have in common is how much we all admire this year's Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award honoree, Dolly Parton. Her unique voice, speaking to and for women of all backgrounds, is as powerful as her unique singing voice, but it is for her legacy of supporting children in need, literacy, disaster relief, and healthcare for her East Tennessee community and beyond that tonight we pay tribute to Dolly for her philanthropy and her humanitarian efforts. And then there is a Hollywood legend who delivered a return to the theatrical experience when we needed it more than we even knew, and who redefined what it means to be not just an action hero, but an artist always at the center of the action. His total immersion into his characters inspires, even as his total commitment to authenticity makes the insurance industry more than a little nervous. A champion for the movies, the opportunities Tom Cruise has given to others by his steadfast commitment to our filmmaking community, and the sheer volume of his work at the highest level is truly humbling. Four artistic originals, each as unique as the body of work they've given to all of us. And together, and as individuals, they each add strands of unbreakable fiber to the brilliant tapestry that is our film community. And it is this community that we must continue to protect. A community that rewards individuality, encourages innovation, honors trailblazers, empowers bold, fresh voices, and a community that fights to protect human authorship and artistic freedom. A community that knows that the arts are more essential today than ever before, because it is the specificity of individual human stories that is the antidote to broad, divisive narratives. In addition to celebrating the art and artists of movie making at the Oscars, Governors Awards, and SciTech Awards, The lasting legacy of the Academy is our investment and commitment to the artists of tomorrow through robust talent development programs like the Student Academy Awards, the Gold Rising Program, and the Nickel Fellowships in Screenwriting. And because the generations of today and tomorrow draw so much inspiration from what has come before, the Academy also remains a shield of something that is under fire in too many places today, our history. Because no force should ever be able to erase our past, our stories, we continue our commitment to the preservation of our legacy through our Academy collection, which contains over 52 million items from our film history, and our spectacular Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Because this is the Governor's Awards, I'm going to conclude by taking a minute to thank our Board of Governors for their immense contributions and for working so hard on behalf of our membership. Our board builds upon ideas sometimes generated years ago and also puts into effect changes and momentum that they may not personally see to completion. And isn't that what governing and community is supposed to be about? Looking forward and thinking long term? So I would first like to invite our current Board of Governors to please stand up. Don't sit down. I'm so personally grateful to all of you because I know how hard you all work and I know how much you care. I would also like to thank anybody in this room that has been a past governor. Please also stand up so we can thank you all for your service. Please all join me now in raising a glass to tonight's honorees. We can't wait to celebrate you all. Our program will start after dinner. Have a wonderful night.
Can I just take this moment to congratulate all of tonight's honorees? It's a wonderful room to be in. Stepping into the world of Wynn Thomas is to, is to find yourself in the hands of an imaginative and intuitive artist, of a meticulous and masterful filmmaker, of a trailblazer whose intentionality and grace has opened doors for new voices and opened our eyes to new possibilities. But those who know Wynn know that he doesn't like talking about himself. Instead, like a true artist, he prefers to let the work speak for itself. And when it comes to Wynn Thomas, the work speaks volumes. Wynn has been entrusted, Wynn has been entrusted by some of our greatest directors to bring their visions to life, building entire worlds from scratch that span all kinds of historical periods and genres, worlds wholly imagined or painstakingly recreated, oftentimes within the same film. Now, it's an immense task to wrap your head around the scope of his skill and creativity. Consider that the mind behind the gritty gangland of Robert De Niro's A Bronx Tale also rendered the technicolored alien invasion of Tim Burton's Mars Attacks. That the same man who walked the line of reality and hallucination in Ron Howard's Best Picture winning A Beautiful Mind also designed the hilarious but insanity-inducing settings of Harold Ramis's Analyze This. That in his 35-year collaboration with Spike Lee, he has immersed us in everything from modern bank heists to the hazy memories of Vietnam battlefields, Malcolm X's political enlightenment in Harlem, to his spiritual pilgrimage to Mecca, to an entire nation's confrontation with race, set within a few blocks in Brooklyn. Now, I had the privilege of living in one of Wynn's worlds in Hidden Figures. The story of 3 Black female mathematicians and their critical contributions to NASA and the space race. The film called for historical and emotional accuracy to properly portray the achievements of these unsung heroes. When it comes to his process, Wynn has often said, research confirms what's in your head, or it inspires you. On this film, he used it to do both. Combing, my lion eyes, combing through visual archives of NASA in the 1950s, Wynn grounded the story in time and place and created a jumping off point from which he could interpret the internal journey of these women. The long corridors our characters walked reflected the uncharted territory they were venturing into with each and every step. The circular design of the Space Task Group room, the setting for John Glenn's historic launch into orbit, served as the launching pad for the great heights their achievements would take them. Hidden Figures was a celebration of talent and triumph. It's one of many of Wynn's films that portray a vibrant range of Black life, and that is by no means an accident. Throughout his career, he has purposely chosen projects that represent the best mankind has to offer and remind us of the humanity in all of us. In doing so, Wynn hasn't just changed the way Black lives are shown in the movies. He has changed the lives of Black artists in the entire industry. Wynn Thomas is the first Black production designer in the history of film. I'm gonna say that again. The first Black production designer in the history of film. The first Black production designer to join the Art Directors Guild. And the first Black production designer to design films for major studios. His contribution to our industry go beyond the enduring films he's been a part of, inspiring an entire generation of designers and craftspeople who may never have had the chance without his pioneering work. At the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to, the work. Wynn's work is a direct result of rare talent and exceptional artistry. So in honor of that talent and artistry, let's let the work speak for itself.
Tom, it's my honor to present you with this Governor Award.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you so much. It really means a great deal to me that you're here, my friend. You know, we all saw Amores Perros 25 years ago. It's like, I have seen every one of your films since then. I mean, you are extraordinary. Your work is beautiful, it's truthful, it's so very human. You always strive for excellence. And to have been able to make that film with you has just been one of the great privileges of my career. And thank you. Thank you so much. I can't wait for you all to see the film next year and see what he did, you know. I really want to take a moment. I want to acknowledge my fellow honorees, you know, Wynn Thomas. Sir, you began your career in New York theater and carried that eye for truth into cinema. Now, I didn't tell you this. I watched She's Gotta Have It, you know, first film you made with Spike Lee, in New York City at the Bleecker Street Theater, August 8th, 1986. I was at the very first showing of that film. And it marked an exceptional chapter in cinema. And what a career, sir. And you are a landmark production designer who's worked to find the look, the feeling of films that have shaped American culture and elevated the craft for all of us. And you're an inspiration. Thank you. Dolly Parton, I mean, an American original, legendary singer, songwriter, actress, storyteller, and humanitarian. And your performances, your songs, your work, your soul, I mean, you're a part of the very fabric of all of our lives. And you show that compassion and creativity are not separate, that they are the same burning light. Thank you. Debbie Allen, Queen. You're a queen. And your impact on our industry and this world it's profound, what you've done. And you are more than a dancer, you are more than an actor, a choreographer, a director, a producer. You are a once-in-a-lifetime force of kindness and artistic expression. And you open the door for countless young artists to find their voice, their discipline, and fulfill their dreams. And you have lifted generations through your example, your excellence, and your heart. You are the very personification of the words your extraordinary mother, Vivian Ayers, wrote to be brave, be beautiful, and be free. I love you. We all love you. It is a privilege to share this evening with all of you. And to everyone in this room, I mean, you should see what y'all look like from here. What a room. I mean, my God, it's just incredible. The studios, you know, the agencies, the artists, the storytellers. I thank you. You know, I see all of your all's work, and believe me, you inspire me, you challenge me, and you expand in my mind what I think is possible. And you are all my friends. And it's an honor to be here with you all tonight. So thank you. And I want to thank the Academy Board of Governors for inviting me this evening and for this honor. You know, I am truly grateful to have this moment, so it allows me to acknowledge all the people who have helped me, all the people that I have been fortunate enough to create these films with, because every step of the way, this whole journey has been shared. And my love for cinema began when I, at a very early age, I mean, as early as I can remember, I was this little kid in this darkened theater, and I remember that beam of light, it just cut across the room, and I remember looking up, and it seemed to me that it just exploded on the screen. And suddenly the world was so much larger than the one that I knew. You know, entire cultures and lives and landscapes, and all of it was just unfolding in front of me. And it sparked something in me. It sparked a hunger for adventure, a hunger for knowledge, a hunger to understand humanity, to create characters, to tell a story, to see the world. And it opened my eyes. It opened my imagination to the possibility that life could expand far beyond the boundaries that I then perceived in my own life. And that beam of light opened a desire in me. It opened the world to me. And I have been following it ever since. I remember being a little kid, I worked every job I could to earn the price of admission. You know, and when I didn't have enough, you know, I just figured out a damn other way to get in that theater, you know? So cinema, it takes me around the world. And it helps me to appreciate and respect differences. It shows me also our shared humanity, how alike we are in so many ways. And no matter where we come from, in that theater, we laugh together, we feel together, we hope together, we dream together. And that is the power of this art form. And that is why it matters. That is why it matters to me. So making films is not what I do, it is who I am. And I also appreciate and I respect and understand that cinema is not built by one person, not a single performance, not a single voice. It is built by communities, by craftsmen, by artists, and who pass that knowledge hand to hand, set to set, generation to generation. And I have learned from extraordinary directors. I have learned from extraordinary writers and actors and cinematographers and editors and designers and stunt teams, film crews, all of you who have built worlds from your imagination. And I've learned from the talent agencies. I thank you. And I've learned from the theater owners and exhibitors. And all of you, everyone here, make it possible for audiences to gather in the dark and experience something together. And I've learned from the audiences themselves, because without you, none of this has meaning for me. So this evening, I cannot name all of those names, who shared and shaped my life, my work, who have given me this opportunity to have, this amazing adventure, who've opened doors and allowed me to understand more about this art form, and who have allowed me to understand more about life. And I would never attempt to, because look, I'd surely leave someone out. But to all of those legends, known and unknown, who inspired and paved the way before me, and to all of those legends, known and unknown, that I have had the privilege to work with, that I've stood together with in the studios and the writers' rooms and all those sets and all those editing rooms and mixing stages and red carpets and every theater around the world. And I ask that if you worked with me, would you mind standing up right now? Do me a favor. Would you all stand up for a second, please? Kevin, Houvain, get up, guys. Come on. All of you, the studios, everybody, please. All of you. Please. All of you. I want to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I want you to know, and please know, that I carry you with me, each of you, and you are part of every frame of every film I have ever made or ever will make. And I want you to know that I will always do everything I can to help this art form, to support and champion new voices, to protect what makes cinema powerful, and hopefully without too many more broken bones. That would be nice. And I promise to do what I can, to maybe, inspire that next kid who might be working their ass off right now to buy that admission, or figure out some other damn way to get in that theater. So thank you all very much for this honor. I'm deeply grateful. Good night. Thank you.
Arnett.
Thank you. Hi, hello. How are you? Grab a seat. Welcome to the 16th Annual Governor's Awards. It's the one night a year when Hollywood comes together to ask, why is there so much traffic on Highland on a Sunday in November? Who's handing out awards in November? And the answer is, we are here at the Governor's Awards. Yeah. Let me see if I have this right. It's an award show within an award show. It's kind of like a Russian doll award show. No, it's more like, it's like the Fight Club of award shows. We don't talk about it, which makes a lot of sense. Because if there's one thing I know about people who work in entertainment, it's when they win awards, they don't want anyone to know about it. My name is Will Arnett. Thank you. You might know me from my storied film career. And the story is, thanks to Bradley Cooper, he finally made a good one, huh? Thank you so much. Ted. This is an honor. Many of you I know, I've hosted you, well, some of you on my podcast, Smartless. Yeah, thank you. If you don't know Smartless, it's a podcast I co-host with Jason Bateman, Jason's here tonight. You don't have to stand up, but if you do see him, touch him. He loves when strangers touch him. Get right in there. I co-host it with Jason and Sean Hayes, and it's a podcast where one of us brings on a surprise guest, and the other two Google you in real time to see what you've been up to. And apparently that's the recipe for a hit podcast. I don't know. I don't get it either. Anyway, but now we're here at the Governor's Awards, and I love this. All the pomp and circumstance of the Oscars, half the publicists. It's just, and of course the Governor's Awards are the awards that are handed out by the Academy's Board of Governors. I was confused. I thought it was like handed out to board governors, and I know our governor here in California wouldn't receive one of those. Been checking out his Twitter. He's been very busy. But tonight is not about politics. It's about Hollywood. And it is such an honor to be here on this stage looking out at so many Hollywood legends. I wish my dad could be here to see me now. Are you still alive? Yeah, he just wasn't invited. And this isn't really being televised, so I can't rub it in his face, you know? So if anybody ever sees him, tell him that I did this. Tonight we are honoring some living legends, like the trailblazing actor, choreographer, and producer Debbie Allen. We're also honoring one of the defining production designers of his generation, Wynn Thomas. And of course, we're honoring a man who needs no introduction, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, who's already here. Could have been. You don't know. He could be any one of us. Tom's going to be presented his award tonight while dangling from a bungee cord, I'm imagining, from the bottom of a helicopter using only 6 toes in the belief that he's invincible. Of course, tonight we'll also be presenting the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award to the incomparable Dolly Parton. One of the nicest things about tonight is that there are no commercial breaks. Orchestra is not waiting to play anybody off. There is nothing stopping us from doing this until the sun comes up. But I say let's just try to get out of here before rush hour tomorrow.
Wow, that was really something. Thank you, Octavia. Thank you so much. I want to thank Jennifer Fox and her team for producing this lovely tribute. Thank you. Wow, okay. Wow, thank you. It's so great to see all those folks who I've worked with and to hear what they had to say, and so thank you. Thank you to all of them. Tonight is an evening of thank yous, and I must admit, I'm a little frustrated with the word thank you because it seems such an inadequate word, and it just doesn't seem to be enough to express how I'm feeling this evening. So, but please know that for me, the simple word, thank you, is filled with an enormous amount of love, affection, and appreciation. You, and I mean all of you here tonight, you are my community. I am honored to be receiving this Governor's Award, and I would like to thank the Academy and the Board of Governors for this incredible recognition. There is nothing better in the world than to be celebrated by your community. I would also like to thank the people who are sitting at my table tonight. You all have been with me throughout the years, and I wouldn't be here without you. You are my family. There's a special thanks for my sister Anita, who has been a source of support throughout my entire career and life. You know, my college roommates are here tonight. Peter J. Fernandez, Ellis Williams, Robert and Gerald Kirshner. Thank you for 50+ years of friendship, and also thank you for your kids who call me Uncle Wynn. I also like to thank my agents from UTA, Pete Franciosa and Mike Ruby, for finding me work. But more importantly, for their kindness and grace throughout the years. Since this award was announced several months ago, I have spent a lot of time looking back. This award recognizes the incredible work by the craftsmen and women that I have worked with over the last 40 years. So I would like to say thank you to all of my art directors, my assistant art directors, my set designers, my set decorators and dressers, my scenic artists, my prop men and women, all the graphic designers I work with, my construction coordinators and carpenters, and my location managers and scouts. You know, these are the people who make me look good. And these are the people who let me be the dreamer and who turn my dreams into reality. So I share this award with all of them. Thank you. You know, this award acknowledges the journey I have taken to become a visual storyteller, because that is what a production designer does. We are the people on a film that takes the writer's words and turns them into concrete images. We have to be able to see those writers' words in our imaginations and turn them into realities. My journey to storytelling began as a poor Black kid in one of the worst slums in Philadelphia. There were street gangs and poverty everywhere. And to escape that world, I immersed myself in books with characters like Sherlock Holmes, and I read the writers Harper Lee, Shakespeare, James Baldwin, Tennessee Williams, and Lillian Hellman. I would sit on my front stoop and I would travel around the world. Now, the local gangs looked down on me and called me sissy. But that sissy grew up to work with some great filmmakers and great storytellers. So I'd like to thank some of my, not all my directors tonight, but some of them. Sorry. Spike Lee, Ron Howard, Pete Siegel, Nate Parker, J.D. Dillard, Tim Burton, Renato Green, and Robert De Niro, and all of the other directors whose stories I helped illustrate. So I have one story that I want to tell you. I grew up in a welfare family with 6 children and a single mother. We lived in West Philadelphia on 59th Street, and my grandmother lived in another part of Philadelphia, down on 35th Street. I really loved spending time with my grandmother. We didn't have a car. However, I would set my mind to going to see my grandmother, and I would start screaming and shouting in the way that kids do, until it drove my mother crazy. Finally, in an immense frustration, she would call my grandmother up and she would say, "Look, I've had enough. I'm sending him to you." So my mom would walk me to the number 46 bus, and I would take that bus to the elevated train, which left me off at 30th Street train station, and then I would walk through the train station to catch another bus. And that bus would take me to 35th Street, where my grandmother lived. My grandmother would call my mom when I arrived. What you should know is that I was 7 years old. Nowadays, my mom would probably be arrested for recklessness. But I tell you this story because those 2 women instilled in me a sense of determination and fearlessness that has never left me and has helped me navigate the barriers and complexities of show business. So, my final thank you this evening goes to these 2 simple working class women, my mom, Ethel Thomas, and my grandmother, Lily Mae Taufaro. These 2 women who never understood this art thing that I was trying to do. These 2 women who never understood what set designing was. These 2 women who had no idea who Chekhov or Fellini were. But these 2 women that were willing to let me go so that I could make the journey that would take me around the world and bring me to you this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.